News Extra on KNEB this morning at 7:50. We're at 62 degrees. And a couple of special guests with us this morning. Neil Blomenkamp and Marcia Bauer are with us today. Marcia is a registered dietitian at Regional West. And you know Neil from the Runza Restaurants. And LifeChangeConnection.org.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
I'm doing great. What's up with you?
Oh, just out doing the thing again. A little volunteer work. Never hurts anybody, right?
That's right. We're getting ready for a special camp that's coming up, Camp Connect. First of all, let's back up a couple of steps and tell us about Life Change Connection so folks are aware of that.
Life Change Connection is a foundation that I founded to empower people affected by diabetes. And we do several things through that foundation. I have a great group of board members that help me out with all of this. And Marcia happens to be one of those. But we help with medical assistance for people. Other things that we're growing into are maybe some day camps for all diabetics, adult diabetics. And our other big one is this Camp Connect that we're here to talk about this morning.
All right, and that's coming up on June 25th. Tell us a little bit about that.
All right, on June 25th, Camp Connect, we start at 8:30 and we have you pick up the kids at 4:30. As the itinerary, the roll kind of rolls in, you get checked in. We're going to do, this year we've got a personal trainer coming in to talk a little bit about exercise and maybe run the kids through some simple exercises. Exercise is a big part of being a diabetic, along with what we eat and the carb count and those types of things. So we'll do a little bit of that. We'll have some games. And then we all do a blood sugar test in the middle of the morning, make sure that we're where we need to be. And that's something that diabetics do all the time. A lot of people aren't aware of that. They think we take a shot and we live life like everybody else, which isn't really true. So then after that, we'll have a snack, and then we kind of roll through some games and just some fun things. And each thing is hopefully educational to the diabetic. Then we roll into lunch after the blood sugar stick, and then we do this kind of the same thing in the afternoon. We will finish up this year. We're gonna have swimming. We do this at the Trails West Camp. Beautiful facility. I was a little nervous a couple, 3 weeks ago when it was underwater, but I don't think it ever got to them. But with the river was on the edge, okay? Right. So, but I think we're all good to go still.
All right. So, again, specifically, this is for kids with diabetes.
That is correct. We've added a little something this year. In the past, it's been only kids with diabetes. And this year, we've decided that we feel that it would be important or help the child, the diabetic, if he could bring a non-diabetic friend. I mean, if you have a diabetic friend, he's already welcome, right? So bring a non-diabetic friend. A couple reasons there. So the friend would be educated on what your friend, the diabetic, is going through, as well as a comfort level for a parent. If you had a child with diabetes and he had a good friend that knew what happens, how to handle it, maybe it could be a life-saving condition. So we just feel that it would be great to have a non-diabetic friend with them and give them a comfort level for their first-time camper. They don't know us, and you're a little nervous as if you're between the ages of 6 and 15.
Marcia, I'm assuming these are all type 1 diabetes, if they're kids with diabetes?
Well, we do have a few last year that were type 2.
Really?
Under the age of 15. And so most of them are type 1, but we are developing diabetes type 2 in children of all ages. It's
kind of like thunderstorm watch warning, and we hear the terms all the time, but people don't always know what it means. So type 1 and 2, describe about that a little bit.
Type 1 is when the pancreas is totally turned off, doesn't deliver any insulin. One day it's working, the next day it's not. Type 2 is the pancreas is working. The patient is getting insulin, but it's not working effectively. So the blood sugars rise because the insulin isn't doing its job very well.
Generally, we think of type 2 as adult onset, and type 1 you're born with. Is that still pretty close to accurate or not so much?
Not so much anymore. We have 80-year-olds that are diagnosed type 1 diabetes. They weren't prior, and then when that pancreas shuts down, they're considered type 1. Type 2, we're seeing children, as I said, we're seeing children with type 2 diabetes, pre-diabetes, 10 years old.
So a wonderful opportunity to educate these youngsters, and I assume their parents as well, Neil?
Absolutely. Marcia can probably touch on the parents better than I can, so go ahead, Marcia.
The studies that have been done indicate that if a parent, a mother and a father of a child that has type 1 diabetes or type 2 diabetes, if those two parents are equally involved in that patient's or child's care, just as equally. Usually, mom usually gets all the responsibility, and or dad. It's usually one or the other. But when they're both as tied in with that child, giving that care, that child is much more effective, or much more. Sorry, they will make it through those turbulent years from 10 to 25, about 15 years. That if they have that great care of both parents, they get through much better, and their diabetes later in life is much better. So it's very important to keep those parents involved, and it's not easy. It's not easy.
Not easy for adults to manage, let alone with kids.
That's the other side of the Camp Connect. There's a lot of times, last year, this was the first time the parents had not been with the child. So they can bring their child to Camp Connect knowing we have medical professionals. They're going to be well taken care of. They'll be safe. They're not going to have one of those issues that every parent worries about, that you're taking their blood sugar at 3 o'clock in the morning. So gives the parent, potentially a sibling, a break for the day. Just, I can relax today. And I know my child is being taken very well care of.
Yeah. The if, ands, and buts, registration, what do we got to do?
Go to lifechangeconnection.org. The cutoff deadline is on the 15th. There's an events tab. Right there, you'll see a Camp Connect picture, and then you just register. And that's a very simple registration. Just need to know the camper's name, birth date, T-shirt size, of course, the most important thing, parent. Then we will email you the registration. It's fairly lengthy, but that's very important. We want to know as much information as we can about that diabetic child so that we can ensure their success, their safety, and that everything is taken care of. So,
okay. LifeChangeConnection.org. Click on events. All right. We're going to come back, talk some other events and happenings right after this.
Seems like I could always use one more day of summer. Time sure does fly. At Murdoch's Ranch and Home Supply, we're giving you an extra chance to get amazing summer deals. Now through Tuesday, June 7th, save 20% on all Miss Me apparel at Murdoch's. Take $10 off select Carhartt shorts. All pet toys and beds are 20% off. Plus, get a $100 gift card when you purchase a Traeger grill. Visit your local Murdoch's or Murdoch's.com for details. Before the time flies sale flies away.
On KNEB News Extra with Marcia Bauer and Neil Blomenkamp. And Marcia, you've got some other interesting items you want to bring us up to date on.
Yes, Regional West Diabetes Clinic is promoting the A1C Champion. It is a speaker list of people from Santa Fe Diabetes Company, and what they do is send out a speaker across the United States from different places that have diabetes, and our next one will be June 28th at 6 p.m. It's our normal diabetes support group. We call it a support group, but it's really more information, and this time it's Samantha Irvin, and she is going to be talking about her journey as a type 1 diabetic and how it has affected her and how she's gotten through all of her dilemmas and is positive. And it'll be a great information for those parents and grandparents or teenagers that are struggling.
Okay. And again, the where and when?
Sorry. It is Tuesday, June 28th at 6 p.m. at the Medical Plaza South building, room 1202. It's right as you walk in the door, off to the left.
Okay. Very good. So that's coming up. And then you kind of take the summer off on those meetings, right, on those Thursdays? We do. We pick it back up in September, and we have our schedule already made up through December, and we'll have the next schedule out. So we encourage people to come. They're free. Great information from all types of professionals. All right. Excellent. We are out of time. In fact, we're over time this morning. Thanks to Neil and Marcia for coming in.
Thank you
very much,
Dennis. Being with us here today on News Extra. KNEB, Scottsbluff, Gearing.